Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, back again with another episode. Check this out, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all about this seller that I had, man. He wasn't a diagnosed mental patient, but I believe he was a mental health patient. He wasn't on any meds and nothing like that. And I couldn't even get this dude to go get any meds, right? But I'm going to tell you this story. It's a funny story, but it's a good example of how in here nothing is in your control, right? So sit back, relax, and enjoy this show, y'all. Yeah, y'all know what's going on. Check this out. Man, when I was in East Tennessee with this store right here. I was in East Tennessee. And I had already retired at this point, right? But, the guys still mess with me and all this thing. But anyway, my celly, man, one morning they woke us up and told my celly to pack. He was being transferred to another prison. No warning, no reclass, no nothing. They call those population management moves, right? Where they'll just move you for no reason, no obvious reason anyway. They just need the bed space because they want to switch people around in here. They just do that, right? From time to time. You just have to go where they tell you to go. So anyway, I'm trying to find out who am I getting? Who's coming in? And I'm asking the officer. He doesn't have any idea, but they were bringing somebody in that had been having problems at this other facility. That's all he would tell me. He said, we're going to bring him here, and we think he'll be more suitable at this place because he knows a lot of people down there, and they were giving him a hard time, and he was acting out a little bit, right? And I'm like, well, what is this? Is this a daycare camp now? Is this where they babysitting and stuff like that? Because I didn't really want to be in the cell with somebody that was having problems in another place and being moved from a whole prison. You get transferred from a whole prison because you having problems, you know what I'm saying, with other people. I ain't talking about somebody going to kill him or stick him all in there. This dude having a problem with cellmates. So they're going to bring him up here where I'm at, you know what I mean, and make him my cell. And they took somebody that I got along with, I had been knowing for years, out of the cell and just moved him. So both of us have been inconvenienced because this dude, the state want to move this dude to a place where they think that he'll start to act right in the room with me, right? So anyway, when he gets to the cell, I'm talking to him. It took him a while to get there, right? They didn't bring him in till it was dark. So I've been sitting all day waiting on him. So when he comes in, I do like I do everybody. I sit him down. I give him to talk. I tell him I do what I do. Stay out of my way. Blah, blah, blah. I said, if you got a problem with that, I don't have a problem in getting them up with you. No smoking in here. I don't smoke nothing. Cigarettes, weed, nothing. At this point, y'all had quit doing all of that. I said, and I don't do no guests. Don't have nobody up in here, right? Because you never know what's going on with people and they might be trying to rob you. So he's sitting there looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, do you understand what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah. So I got a little bit more aggressive. I said, do you understand what I'm saying, man? I said, I'm going to put it to you like this, man. If you got attitude, we might well go on and get him up now. And if you win, you can have this bottom bunk. Other than that, I'm going to expect you to do what I'm telling you to do. Get on up on that top bunk and chill, man. And we're going to ride this thing out. And he was like, well, okay then. I said, how much time you got? He said, I got about 8 years. I said, man, we can just ride this thing out, man, and chill. You know what I'm saying? I ain't looking for no trouble. You know what I'm saying? I hope you're not looking for any. He like, no, I ain't looking for no trouble. I said, all right. So I tell him what a shower is. I said, I'm going to step out, let you get some time in the cell. You need to, finish up that and run down there and get on the phone. I didn't know this dude, so I wasn't going to let him use my phone. Back in that day, I had a cell phone, so... But I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got comfortable with him enough yet. So it was a no-go on that. I'm telling him, after you get out of the shower, you might want to get in line, get downstairs, and get a phone so you can call and let your people know that you're okay. And he said, no, I'm good on that now. So when he told me that, that's the first red flag that flew for me because I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. What type of person gets transferred without his knowledge and just they pick him up and they move him? And then he don't want to even call his people to let them know that he's straight or that he's even been moved. So now I'm looking at him with the cross eye. I said, man, I got me a real deal Holyfield. So he gets out of the shower. He comes right back to the cell. I'm in the cell on the phone. I'm chilling. He come right back in the cell. Get right back up on the top bunk. I'm on the phone. I'm talking to baby. I'm like, dang, I can't even talk. You know what I'm saying, with this dude in here. So I end up getting off the phone with her, and then we're going to text it back and forth like that, right? Keep it private. So all of a sudden, he lays down and he goes to sleep. I said, well, let me go and put this phone up. So I get up and leave. I take the cell to get to my partner. I come on back to the cell. I'm watching me some TV with my headphones on, just chilling. I ain't paying no attention to nothing. He's up there. He's snoring a little bit. That's understandable. You know, he's been on the road for about 6 hours with this transfer, so he's a little tired. I get it. So while he's up there, you know, at this time, they still let us have hot pots. So I'm cooking me some hash, right? And, you know, that's in here, you know, that penitentiary hash, y'all. They said you take that ramen noodle. First of all, before you do the ramen noodle, you chop you up an onion, all right? Chop that thing up real good and get you some butter. Put it in that hot pot, let that butter melt and drop that onions in there, let them saute. You got to let them saute till they get brown. When they start to crystallize, you know what I'm talking about if you're cooking out there. Once they start doing that, you're going to get that scent off of them, right? Once that smell start, that sugary smell, then that's when you take your noodle and you crunch it up real fine. Just crunch it up. Get that thing real fine, right? Now you take your tuna fish and you dump the tuna fish in first. You got to whip it. Whip it on top of them onions, right? Put a little bit more butter in there. Let that thing start to marinate and get up in there in that tuna. Mix it up real good. And then you take a little water and put it right over the top of the onions and the tuna, so it's just like even with the depth of the tuna that's in the hot pot, right? Let it boil a little bit, and then you pour them noodles in there just a little bit at a time. You don't put the whole thing in there. You put a little bit in there, whip it. Let it get down in there. Do it again, whip it. Add a little bit more water until all of it's in there, and it's not too much water where it's over the top. It's just enough water. Then you put that lid on that thing. So I got the lid on the hot pot. It's cooking, and I can smell it. It's gonna be a good one, right? So I go on and bust me a bag. You know what I'm saying? They had them Lay's potato chips, the originals. You know, I bust me a bag open, pour that in my bowl just to get ready. About that time, I hear some rumbling and grumbling up on the top. He raised up. He looking down, and he ain't saying nothing, but he looking. I'm talking about he staring at that hot pot like he about to grab that thing like Martin off a light when he grabbed that apple pie out the window, right? So I'm looking like, man, he better not play no games with me about food, you know. So he said, no, but I ain't no rude dude. I say, you hungry, Sally? He like, yeah, I'm hungry, man. I said, man, get up and get your bowl, right? He said, I ain't got no bowl. I said, you ain't got no bowl? I said, what bag that you bought in? He said, man, everything's on the shelf. He done threw the empty duffel bag up under the bed, right? We still had duffel bags back then, the military green duffel bags. I'm looking, this man got steak clothes, steak t-shirts, steak boxes, steak socks. Then I really took a look at his shelf. He got one thing of deodorant, one thing of soap, one tube of toothpaste, and a toothbrush, and a rag. I said, man, this dude ain't got nothing. Then I looked down under the bed. He got one pair of steak boots and one pair of tennis shoes, and they look rough. I said, I got me a real vagabond up in here. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I said, look here, man, I got an extra bowl. I get the extra bowl out, and I'm whipping it. I get back over to my hot pot. I'm cooking. I get that spoon all the way down in there. And you know how when you get that spoon in the bottom of that, and you move it around, and that heat coming up off of it, and you can hear it go as you cooking that thing, right? So I'm whipping it and I'm adding a little water. He said, man, that smells good. What did I say, man? It said penitentiary hash, man. It said penitentiary hash. I said, you ain't never had nothing like this. So I fixed him a nice good bowl, you know what I'm saying? Bragging a little bit. Fix him up a nice good bowl. Fix me a nice old bowl, right? Then I cleaned the pot out before I sat down, you know what I'm saying? Make sure everything's straight. Give him some potato chips. Give him one of my drinks, Sunkist orange drink. I don't like sharing my drinks, but I gave him one. I ain't trying to be no mean dude or nothing like that. He's sitting up on top. I'm hearing, he crunching. He eating it all. I'm talking about the man is eating. I can hear him crunching the potato chips. Crumbs is falling down from the top. I'm like, hold up, Sally. I said, man, you ain't got to rush. Ain't nobody finna come in here and take that from you. He eating like he's a real animal. But then again, you know, I do cook like that. So, you know, he tasting something real, so he got to go on and get it down, you know. He drank his drink. I'm talking about, listen to me, y'all. I hear him up there hitting that drink going, boom, 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 boom. It's gone. Then he burped. Then he laid straight back down. I said, sell it. Watch the bowl, man. I'm not your maid. Oh, my bad, said it. So he jumped down. Get the bowl, get in the sink. He's cleaning it. I'm watching him while he cleaning. I'm eating my bowl, but I'm watching him while he cleaning. Because, see, that's going to tell me something about it. Is this dude straight? Is he a neat dude or is he nasty? I'm looking at it. I said, get some of that detergent right there, man. Put that in that bowl. Not just with no water, man. So he washing, he scrubbing it. He do a pretty good job. I said, oh, okay. At least he's clean. At least he's clean. He jumped back up on the top bunk. He laying up there chilling. Now, I'm finished eating. I done washed the bowl out. I'm laying there looking at TV. You know what I'm saying? It's about that time for count, you know. So I'm going to look at my last show, and then I'm going to go on and lean in for the night myself, right? So after the count come down and my show go off, I turn the TV off. I'm laying in the bed, right? I'm just laying there thinking, you know, about my day and what I got to do tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be a Saturday because, you know, that was a Friday he got there. So it's going to be Saturday morning. I'm going to chill, talk to my gal a little bit on the phone, that kind of stuff, right? So at the end of the day, I'm laying there, right? All of a sudden I hear he's snoring. He's still snoring real good. I'm like, well, dang, what's wrong with this dude? It's getting louder and louder. And listen to me, y'all. Listen to me. This is what got me right here. After about 2 or 3 hours, listening to him snore, I'm dozing in and out. You know what I'm saying? It ain't bothering me like that. I'm dozing in and out. I'm good into it, feeling warm. You know how you get up under them sheets and you're feeling warm and comfortable? You roll over, you can hear a little noise, but you really ain't going to let it bother you like that. I'm laying on my side toward the wall. I'm going back out. All of a sudden, man. Now check this out. It's a true story now. Y'all listen to me. This is what he do. Whoa, 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 whoa. I said, what the? So I lean up on my side. I get up on the door. I ain't got nothing in there. I already put the phone up in my policy. There ain't no drugs or nothing in there. So I get up, I run to the door. I look out, but I'm like, wait a minute. You know how you hear something, you can pretty much tell the direction it come from? When I heard him barking, I know it didn't come from the door, but I'm in my mind, I'm like, it can't be him. This dude ain't barking. I'm looking out the door. It's dark out there. I don't see nothing. I look down at the cage, I see the officer in there. The officer leaning back with his feet up, reading the magazine. So ain't no dogs or nothing in the park. I lay back down. And I hear it again. Whoa, whoa, whoa. See what? Now I get up. Ease up real slow. I said, I know this dude ain't playing me. Can't be playing me, man. Because now I'm getting pissed off because I'm tired. So I get up. I'm at the end of the bunk. This dude, listen to me, y'all. Listen to me. This dude now raised up. He's sitting up in the middle of the bed. Eyes look open. But he sleep. He gone. I said, Sally. He don't respond. He just sitting there staring at me like the poltergeist. Just staring at me, gone. Ain't nothing in his eyes. It's just, his eyes is open, but ain't nothing there. And this dude go, row, 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 row. I said, oh, my goodness. I said, these folks done sent a real live patient up here. So now I got to figure out what I'm going to do. Because I don't know what to do with this dude. I ain't never had a situation like this before. I got to figure out how I'm going to handle this. So I'm like, do I go to the counselor, let these folks deal with it, or do I put hands on him? What? I don't know what to do with this, right? Because I don't want to, if something really is wrong with dude, I don't want to make the situation worse for him. But at the same time, I ain't finna be putting up with somebody in the cell that'll keep me up all night barking like a dog. I'm just not going to do that, right? So anyway, I end up going to the counselor after I hollered at brother and them. I said, man, this dude is tripping and blah, blah, blah. So brother and them, they think it's funny But at the end of the day, they were like, man, just holler at the counselor, man. They'll move him out of there, man. If something's really wrong with him, they'll know. They just ain't going to tell you what's going on, right? I said, bet that. So I fill out the paperwork. You got to fill out the information request form. I fill out the paperwork. I just put on there, need to talk. Now, they usually don't get nothing from me that says need to talk because, you know, I don't really just talk to them like that. If I go to the counselor or somebody like that, I'm just going to check how much money I got on my books or something like that, right? But I don't just go talk to them. You don't have no free conversations, right? I don't just have no problems or nothing like that where I need their help on anything. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up, when I go in there, I'm talking to them, they lean back. It's two of them, right? It's a male and a female. The female run the whole thing, but the male dude, he just in there just in case, you know what I'm saying, as a witness. He want to see what it is that I got to say so he can probably run back and tell internal affairs or something like that, right? But anyway, I started telling them, you know, about the what happened that night in the cell. So they both looking at me like, all right, Joe, here you go again. You want you another seller, you coming in here with this craziness. I said, look, this is not a lie. I'm telling y'all what's really going on. I said, this dude raised up in the middle of the sleep, eyes wide open, barking like a dog. I said, and what do y'all expect me to do about that? Look here. Y'all ain't gonna believe this, right? Y'all ain't gonna believe this. She looked at me because they thought I was playing. Didn't nobody want to take me serious at all. She looked at me. She said, you want me to get you a dog collar so you can take him walking? Man, I looked at her. Both of them started laughing. I looked at her. I said, oh, y'all got jokes. Y'all got jokes. She said, well, Joe, he's not moving up out of the cell. You stuck with it. You might well give him a name or something. They want to take it. They keep making jokes about this thing. You know what I'm saying? I said, all right, that's what's up. That's what's up. I said, so y'all not going to help me? She was like, nah. She said, no. She said, because I really don't believe that somebody's in your cell barking like a dog. I said, okay. I get up, I leave up out of there. So the next night, now it was a couple of nights later, rather, we had an officer in our pod that was cool. So I tell him before lockdown, I said, look, man, when you walk by the cell, if I knock on the window, man, to try to get your attention, man, come over here. I need you to hear something, man. I need a witness, man. He said, what's going on, Joe? What you got going on? I said, no. I said, man, I don't even want to tell you. I don't even want to tell you what this is, right? Because I ain't trying to be, you know, people looking at me like I'm crazy or whatever, thinking it's funny and all this old kind of stuff, right? I just need a witness by an officer. He said, all right. I said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get up on the window, and if I hit that light, come on, just walk over here, and I want you to listen to something. He said, okay. Sure enough, he did it again. After about 2 hours, he was asleep. I'm laying down, I'm waiting. See, that's the kind of nights I was having. When I'm laying in the bed, I really just can't go to sleep because I'm wondering, is this dude going to do this again? Some nights he did, some nights he didn't. So I'm laying in the bed, he raises up. I can hear the bed move. He raised up. He started barking. Ruh, 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 ruh. I ease up out the bed. I don't want to wake him up now. I ease up out the bed. I go over, I hit the light real quick. Tap on it real light. He come over there. He come. He get to the door. He see my celly sitting up in the bed barking. Ruh, 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 ruh. He look. I put my finger up to my lips telling him, be quiet, don't say nothing. And he mouthed to me, you know what I'm saying, is he up? I'm like, he sleep, man. He sleep. Me and him at the door. I'm on one side, he on the other. We at the door, whispering to each other like idiots. And he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, and I'm like, what is going on, man? He's like, oh, man. Then I see the smile creep up on his face. He started smiling. He said, man, this ain't no joke, is it? I said, man, this ain't no joke, man. I just needed you to hear this. You my witness, man. This dude is tripping, man. I said, look, tomorrow I'm going to go to the unit manager. I'm going to holler at her, and I'm going to see, you know what I'm saying, if they can do something about this. But I'm going to tell them, you heard this, man. You got me? He said, I got you. So this time, when I go back to the counselor and the unit manager, they listening. I said, look, all you got to do is holler at Officer such and such. He going to tell you what the business is. Now they listening to me like, oh, okay, you gonna keep on pushing. I said, I'm telling y'all the truth. And I said, look, I'm getting kind of tired of coming over here too, right? Because I ain't getting no good sleep. So anyway, they called the officer at home because he hadn't come in on shift yet. They called him at home and he swears up and down. He heard it, he seen it. It's a trip. It's going down. Everybody wants to know what's going on with Joe Cellmate. What's going on with Joe Cellmate? Because outside the cell, I'm really not talking to him. I'm watching him because I'm like, man, I got a real bona fide right here. He's certified. And now look, I don't want to treat nobody mean. Not like that. Under those circumstances, I ain't gonna dog him out. Because I could have easily ran him up out of there. But I ain't want to do it like that. I just didn't want to do it like that. And that's another example, man, how stuff can be going on in here. One thing, let me just make sure I point out to y'all. One thing, you don't get to choose your cell in here in all situations now. Sometimes you do, most of the time you don't. And then second, you never know what's going on with a person to make them act like that. You never know. This dude here had real issues. He hadn't been diagnosed yet, but he had real issues. And at the end of the day, I didn't want to make it worse for him. Even though he was driving me crazy, I couldn't sleep. Now just imagine somebody like that in the cell with somebody that didn't care about his mental health. Imagine what would have happened. They would have beat the brakes off of him. I could have easily had that done, been through with it. Get on up out of here. Could have easily had that done, but I didn't want to do that. Y'all know what's going on, man. Y'all know what's going on. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.